So guys, hi everyone. Today we're going to continue with lecture 2, week 21, comprehension and phonics. As you remember that on Monday, sorry, we started with the phonics part and we talked about the R controlled vowels. When the R consonant letter R controls the vowel sound when it comes after the vowel, not before the vowel. The R controls the vowel when it comes after it, not before it. Okay, so you have to pay attention as in some words like I have or AR, or ER. Sometimes I have OUR. Okay, sometimes I have EAR. Okay, so today we're going to continue with the reading lesson, the vocabulary, and the skill, comprehension skill. Okay, but first of all, let me talk a little bit about the flip grid that Hadi asked us. You have two things to do on flip grid. You have dictation and speaking. The dictation is very easy. The dictation contains words with R controlled vowels. I recited or I dictated you sentences that include words with R controlled vowels. What you have to do is you listen to the video, okay, and you write down the sentences while listening, or if you want to listen to part of the sentence, you write down. Okay, when you and your mother or one of your siblings must record the video of you writing down the sentences. When you finish writing, you have to just put the camera on the sheet to let me see it. Sorry, to let me see the sentences to correct them. Okay, and then you have to upload the video on Flipgrid. This is one. Two, for the speaking. The speaking is related to our lesson. Our theme will be about technology and electronic devices. Okay, so what you must do, you must just choose one electronic device or any technology, okay, any technology or invention. You have to talk about three things. First of all, you have to tell who invented it. Then you have to mention two advantages, I mean two positive points about it, and you have to mention two disadvantages, two negative points about it. Okay, prepare it on a draft, train speaking, saying it, then put the camera in front of you as if you are in front of an audience, and say them, speak, make a speech, and that's it. You're done, you stop the recording video and you upload it on Flipgrid. Okay, that's it. And when you go to Flipgrid, the instructions are there. Okay, guys, can we start now? Can we continue with our lecture? Okay. Hadi, do you have a question?
Miss, I make the dictation, but
Yeah, I know.
you don't put it in the يعني ما أرسلته لأنه الآيباد كان بطاريته فاضية. Today I will
You have to upload it on Flipgrid. On Flipgrid, you have to upload it, not to send it to me. On
Today
Flipgrid.
I will upload it.
Okay, no problem. You have time. Guys, the dictation is you have deadline for dictation is a Friday, and the deadline for the speaking is Saturday. Thank you, Hadi. Please mute yourself. Okay. Hussein Kassab. Hussein.
You check the dictation?
What?
You checked the dictation?
Not yet. Not yet, dear. Not yet. I didn't have time yesterday. But don't worry. When I check them, I will upload the grades directly on the application. Thank you, Hussein. Okay, Yusuf. Do you have a question?
Teacher, I make it and I save it in the web.
MS, okay, خلاص. It's not necessary to tell me. I check it every hour. I check who did and who didn't do it. Lana, do you want to say something?
Miss, I didn't understand so much the spelling
You didn't
that you
understand
said.
what? The dictation or the speaking?
The speaking.
Yes, you have to choose a
What we
technology.
need to do?
You have to. Haven't you done any speaking last year? You choose, for example, now I'm a
Yeah.
I'm a student, okay? All of you look at me. I'm a student. I prepared a short paragraph, very short information about phones, smartphones, okay? For example, iPhone. It's a smartphone. Okay, I prepared. I wrote first who invented it. Okay, and I put two advantages and two disadvantages. Now I come. Hello everyone. Hello my students. I am Lilian. Okay. Oh, sorry. Hello my friends. Let's say, imagine that I'm a student with you. Hello my friends. I am Lilian, and today I'm going to talk about smartphones. Smartphones are, for example, give a definition about smartphones. What are smartphones? Then you move that. Yusuf Khazem invented the smartphones, for example. Okay, smartphones are good to our life, but they are bad at the same time. So let me tell you two advantages. The first advantage, blah blah blah. The second advantage, blah blah blah. Now let's move to the disadvantages. The first disadvantage of using smartphones is blah 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 blah, and the second disadvantage is blah 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 blah. Thank you for listening. Bye bye. That's it. That's it.
Then we upload it on
Yes.
Flip Grid.
Yes. That's it, guys. Speaking. You're telling your friends information here. Okay? You're telling your friends
It's on
information.
Saturday.
Deadline is on Saturday. You can start practicing on it from today. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good, good, good. So shall we start now? Let's leave the questions till the end, please. Okay, yeah. We finished from the phonics part. And as I said, you can solve the pages on your ISI booklet if you want, the pages regarding the phonics. So what we're going to cover today in comprehension. Okay, we're going first to cover unit one, lesson 5 in unit 1. Its title is Are Electronic Devices Good for Us? The pages are in reading writing workshop book, the reading book we mean. The vocabulary pages, page 76 and 77. The reading lesson pages are 78 to 81, okay? So please, teacher, from today, you have to start to practice reading the lesson. One, to understand the idea, the theme, and two, to practice reading because next week you will have reading, graded reading on flip grid. Next week, okay, not this week. And in the comprehension skill, we're going to cover something new called author's purpose. It's not new, okay, but we have to explain it. Author's purpose. So let's begin with our vocabulary words. Okay, sorry, just guys, because of the time, I am going to read and explain the words for you, okay, this time, just this time. The first word is access. Please, when I read it, repeat after me. Access, access. In order to access the locked room, Brad had to punch in a special number code. So the word is access. Who can tell me what the word access means? Lamar? Lamar? Okay.
Access.
Access. What do we mean by access? In order to access the locked room. For
So
example.
he had to put in a special code. Access means to enter. To enter the special
For
room, he had
example,
to
enter, yes,
code.
or to have access to get from a source, from a certain place. Thank you, Lamar. Thank you. The second word is advance. Advance. Many citizens have marched on Washington to advance people's rights. Sorry. Okay, just let me tell you something. Many citizens marched, we mean like they protested, okay? They marched on the streets. Why? They were asking to advance people's rights. So what do you mean by advance? Who wants to tell me? Who wants to tell me? Okay, Zahra. Where are you, Zahra? Zahra Basma?
Yes.
Okay, when people advance or walk on the street or they protest in order to what? What do they want? They want things to become better or to get worse?
To become better.
To become better. So here when we say to advance people's rights, what do you mean by advance?
To like tell them what's the right thing.
Excellent. So to improve, yes, to become better again, to improve, to flourish, to prosper, to grow, okay? To have more rights, we mean here. So advance is like to prosper, to grow. Thank you, Zahra. Excellent. Excellent. Who entered with the name Nurhan Hamoud? Remind me, please. Please, can you speak? Miss Guys, please enter with your names. Who are you? Who's this? Hi, Miss. You're unmuted. Can you speak? You're
Yes,
unmuted.
yes, yes.
Ali Hamoud. Okay. Now, Ali Hamoud, let's continue now. Stay with me, Ali Hamoud. Okay, I want to ask you. Analysis. The word analysis. Analysis. A magnifying glass helped Karina make a careful analysis of the seashell. So what is Karina here doing to the seashell, Ali?
What? I don't hear it. Well,
Miss, I can't hear you well too. The voice is not clear. Your voice. Okay, your voice has been cut. Okay. Right. Let's take another student. Hussein Kassab. Hussein, what do you think we mean here by analysis?
Analysis,
Yes. Look at this girl. She's looking at the seashell. What do you think she's doing to the seashell?
checking,
What?
checking,
I cannot understand what you're saying.
checking,
Checking on it, studying it. Yes, we can say studying it. So when we say analysis, we mean that you are studying something carefully. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you. Okay, now let's take Tala. Tala? Cite. Tala, are you with me? When doing research, it is important to identify and cite sources of information. For example, now when you do speaking, I will ask you, where did you get the information from? Cite your sources. So what do I mean by cite? Like to tell what are the sources, what the sources are, sorry, to tell what the sources are as an evidence or proof on your information. Okay, so to be like, for example, to prove that you haven't cheated and taken them from another person. So that's what we mean by cite. You have to tell your sources. Okay, Tala, I think that Tala can't hear me. She didn't unmute herself. Okay. Let's continue now. Counterpoint. Counterpoint. The positive review from one critic was in counterpoint to another's bad review. Okay. So here, if you notice that we have counterpoint. At the beginning, we talked about positive review. Then down we said bad review. If you notice here, we have opposite ideas. Opposite ideas. What do we mean by counterpoint, Hadi? Hadi.
good or bad?
When you say something good and something bad, so these ideas are what? Are they the same or opposite?
Not the same or
Not the same,
opposite.
opposite. So when you say counterpoint, we mean that opposite ideas or disagreeing with something. Good, Hadi. Thank you. Thank you. So, guys, when we say counterpoint, we mean opposite ideas. Okay? When you disagree with something. Data now. Data is very easy. The student gathered data for their experiment by measuring bubble size. So, what do you mean by data? When you have a project, you gather what?
Information.
Information. Excellent. Thank you, Lamar.
The student gathered information.
Yes, data means information, all kinds of information and facts. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now drawbacks, the last two words. The first one, drawbacks. Yusuf, let's take Yusuf. Limited room for passengers and little trunk space are drawbacks of a small car. Okay, so when you have a small car, you will not have a wide room and it will have a little trunk space. So what do you mean by drawbacks?
what mean ما بيصير in English?
What? They do not fit.
They do they do not fit.
When things do not fit in the car, so what? It is a drawback. Is it a good positive point or a negative point for the car? negative. So it is a negative point. It is a disadvantage of small car, right? Like
Yes.
when
Yes.
having a small car, it's not similar to having a big car, because in the big car more passengers can ride in it, and it will have more trunk space. So these are advantages. But small car will has a less or little trunk space, for example. So it is a disadvantage. So when we say drawbacks, we mean disadvantages. Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you. Okay, the last word is reasoning. Reasoning. James used his reasoning skills before deciding on his next chess move. So James was thinking how to move the chess part. Okay, so what do you mean here by reasoning? Reasoning is to think in a logical way in order to make something correct. Okay, so when we say reasoning, we mean to think in a logical way. So now these are the words with their meanings. I'm going to add this table later on the worksheet, so you will have access to the definitions of the words. So access means get it from a source or enter a place, for example. Access, get it from a source. Advance, move forward or make progress, to become better, to flourish, to prosper, for example. Analysis, a careful examination. You examine something carefully, or you study something carefully, okay, with details. Cite, mention it, you have to mention the source as a proof or evidence. For example, I want a proof from you, I say, cite your sources. Counterpoint, an opposing we mean opposite idea or disagreeing point of view. Data, sorry, data is all the information, facts, figures, and other kinds of information. Drawbacks, we mean problems or disadvantages. Problems or disadvantages. Reasoning, having the ability to think in a logical way. So to have the ability to think in a correct way in order to move correctly. So these are the vocabulary. Later we're going to have exercises on the vocabulary. Okay, guys. So now we have to start with our new theme. Let's see the essential question. It says, what are the positive and negative effects of a new technology? And this is your speaking. You have to choose a technology and to talk about positive and negative effects. Two positive effects, two advantages, two negative effects, I mean two disadvantages. So this is our speaking for Saturday. Okay, guys, what do you think the positive and negative effects of a new technology? Let's watch this video. I'm sorry. Okay.
New technology. What are the positive and negative effects of new technology? During our lives, we've all enjoyed reading a book and being read to. But technology has changed the way we read books. You can now read a book on e-readers or tablets instead of printed paper. Is one way better than the other? How do they compare? For one thing, a stack of books is bulky and heavy. But with new technology, all these books and more can be stored on a portable device, such as this tablet. Still, an electronic tablet couldn't survive this spill. Should a new technology always replace an old one? As technology changes, we must decide how best to use each new idea.
So I think now that you have got an idea about the theme, just who can in brief tell me what did the video talk about? Who can in brief, like in two sentences? Did you listen to the video? Was the voice of the video clear? Zahra, let's see Zahra.
They are saying that one day we were reading on a book.
We were using
Uh,
paper books, that's right. What happened then?
yes, and then all of the books
Came what?
we find them on the tablet
Yes, we call them e-books, for example. Okay,
or on
so
the
what
phone.
Are there only advantages for ebooks or tablets? Are there only advantages or there are also disadvantages, Zahra?
There's also
طيب,
disadvantage.
can you just give me one advantage and one disadvantage? They mentioned them in the video. They said that it's good that we have tablets for, but it's also bad at the same time. Why?
Mm, the noise wasn't really like
Okay. طيب, okay. So,
clear.
okay, thank you. ما بأثر. طيب, okay. So, as Zahra said that in the video they were talking how books changed from paper books to e-books on tablets. The good thing is that now it's easier for you to hold a tablet and whenever you want you can open a book and read it. But at the same time, maybe if you're holding too much things in your hand and the tablet falls down, it will be broken. That's right. So this is also a disadvantage of ebooks on tablets. That, that's what they mean by the advantages and disadvantages. Teacher, this is our lesson. Are electronic devices good for us? Please, guys, please. Now we're not going to read it just due to the time. Later, we're going to read it on tomorrow. If we have time, we're going to read it together. But you at home, you must read the lesson. Please practice reading it to get an overall idea about it. Okay, guys, and you have to start practicing from now till next week in order to have a good reading grade. Okay, so let me just skip now the reading lesson and move to the genre. Let me tell you something here about the genre because now we're going to, next week, we're going to start writing paragraphs similar to this. First of all, the big genre is informational text. Informational text is what we mean by expository text at the same time. Okay, guys? Informational text is the same as expository text. So what do I mean by informational text? Informational comes from information. So what do you get from this word? That the text will what? Will give us information. It will give us what? Information. In most informational texts, the writer doesn't mention his or her opinion. Okay, in most of the informational texts, the writer doesn't mention his opinion. But here, since I have a persuasive article, so the genre, the specific genre for the text is persuasive article. What do we mean here? The article means that the writer is giving us information. Okay, there are empty. Okay, so that writer is giving us information, but he is persuasive. So here he mentions his opinion. Here he mentions his opinion. So here the writer is giving us information, but he is with a point against another point. So he wants to give us his opinion and he wants to persuade us with his opinion. So how does he persuade us? To persuade the reader, to convince the reader with the writer's point, sorry, okay. First of all, the writer should show his point of view. Either he is with or against. Second, he must include reasons and evidence that support his opinion. So we must find reasons and evidence that support the writer's opinion. Last thing, we have to find text features as headings and the graphs. Okay, the text features, we find them in most of the informational text. But what differentiates the persuasive article from a usual article is the reasons and the evidence that support the writer's opinion. Okay, guys? Okay, so here we have persuasive article in an informational text. As I said at the beginning, informational text is when the text is giving us information. But whenever you find the writer giving his opinion and he is against or with something, then this is a persuasive article. He must include reasons and evidence to support his opinion, and you must find text features like headings and graphs. Okay, guys? Clear? The genre clear? I think that it's clear. It's not difficult at all. We can move to the comprehension skill, which is something you will see that it is similar to the genre. Why? I want you to keep something in your mind before we start. Okay? When we say author's purpose, when we say author's purpose, just remember the word pie. What must you remember? The word pie. Keep it in mind. When we say, we still have 10 minutes, okay? When we say author's purpose, we do have to remember the word pie, okay? The word pie. You kept it in your mind? Let's see. Why do we say use the word pie? But before we have to know what do we mean by purpose? What is the purpose? Every writer has a purpose behind writing his or her text. So every book you read, every magazine you read, every textbook, any newspaper article, okay, is written for a certain purpose. So the writer has a purpose or chooses his words for a certain reason. There is a reason, okay? What are these reasons? There are only three reasons, three purposes: persuade, entertain, inform, and entertain. Persuade, inform, and entertain. Keep them in mind. The three purposes are persuade, inform, and entertain. So that's why I said keep in your mind the word pie. Keep in your mind the word pie. Persuade, inform, and entertain. Okay? Who can tell me, who can guess, let's say, for example, what do you mean by inform? Lana. Lana Diab. Lana. طيب, okay. Hassan Araouni, can you hear me? Hassan,
Yes, miss.
can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. When we say inform, what do you think we mean? Inform.
Information.
Yes, information. So the writer here is giving what? Information. Okay, excellent, Hassan. So as Hassan said, inform.
Yes, what you want?
Okay, I was going to ask you a question, but you didn't answer me. Hassan answered the question. Okay, thank you, Lana. Thank you. I will take, you will have your turn
I
later.
didn't hear you because.
Okay, don't worry. Let me continue now.
Okay.
So, as Hassan said, inform comes from information. So, when there is a text that includes information, but pay attention, there is no opinion for the writer in it. There is no opinion for the writer in it. Then we say that the author's purpose is to inform the reader, inform him about a certain subject. Okay? When we say entertain, who is with me? Ali Rida? Ali? Ali Rida? Okay.
Yes.
What do you think we mean when we say entertain?
The writer is trying to
To what? To entertain the reader. But so what do we mean by entertain the reader? What would the reader have? Feeling bored or he will have fun?
he will have fun reading.
Excellent. He will have fun reading a story. He will not get bored at all. So when we say entertain, we mean that the writer wants, we mean that the writer wants the reader to have fun, to have fun. So inform, the writer wants to give information. Entertain, the writer wants the reader to have fun. We still have one purpose with, which is persuade. Persuade, and I explained just now, what we mean by persuade. Hassan Daykh? Hassan Daykh? Hassan, can you hear me? Who wants to tell me what do we mean by persuade? Tala? La, Tala, you participated. You participated, Tala. Let's take Lana again. Lana?
Yes.
Okay, so we said that inform, the reader wants to give information. Entertain, the writer wants to give information. Entertain, the writer wants the reader to have fun. But in persuade, what does the reader want to do here?
To talk with you and give you information.
Give you information, okay, we agreed on it. But there is persuasion here. He wants to persuade with something. He wants, so here he mentions his opinion. When we say persuade, we might find in the text that the writer is mentioning his opinion and he wants you to be with his opinion. Okay? So when we
Yes,
say
that
persuade, and not only information, because inform is when the writer giving information but without his opinion. But persuade when the writer is giving information but with his opinion, and he wants you to believe his opinion. He wants you to convince with his opinion. Okay? Thank you, Lana. So when we say persuade, we mean
okay.
thank you. When we say persuade, we mean that the author's purpose is to is wanting you to believe his or her position. Okay, persuasive pieces are non-fiction. They include information.